Well, good evening, pumpkin fans and aficionados. It is May 19th. It's a Tuesday. That means it is time for an update. So let's start this update about or with or on the greenhouse and the happenings of where within the greenhouse. So, yes, the greenhouse is basically finished. I do have some videos. I shot some stuff that I do need to edit together, but update videos are quick and fast because I'm just talking to a camera and I don't have multiple days to splice together. So it's quick and easy, and I can get it done. So I have not put the plants, I've not planted the plants because unfortunately I have had a few hiccups in the process, but right now, you see that little white doodad right there on the ladder? That's a temperature sensor, and I'm moving this around. That will connect to a device in my house. I could probably plug it in out here. And then that uploads to an app, and I'm able to, in real time, check the temperature, and it graphs it out so I can see what the ebbs and flows of the temperature are inside the greenhouse. The greenhouse itself is working great. We've had some 60-plus mile-an-hour winds, gusts the last 2 days. Go figure, as soon as it gets done, here comes our crazy spring weather. And just where I'm at location-wise in Parker, we do get a lot of wind, so it is passing the wind test, thankfully. Speaking of passing the wind test, look at this streamlined hair. Got a haircut finally, thank goodness. And yeah, but the problem with the greenhouse is the cooling system. I'm so frustrated. Like, I'm a fairly positive guy, and I hate to throw anybody under the bus, but gosh diddly darn it. Today I called because it was really hot. It's like 80 degrees outside, and if the sensor is down at the other end of the greenhouse, it's like 120. I haven't looked at it lately, but to see what the max temperature was. But it's probably about 120 degrees down there at the other end, which obviously much too hot for a pumpkin plant that prefers it to be under 90 degrees. So we got a problem. I called up Remmel, that I guess is not their expertise per se. They are the greenhouse people, and they referred me to the cooling people. The cooling people are the vent up there, the exhaust fan, and the wet wall that I've got my hand rested against. And they informed me that my CFMs, my air movement, the amount of air that's getting pulled through this wet ball and out to that exhaust fan was about as half as what it needs to be. So basically, I need to add another fan to get this cool air sucked all the way down there in a amount of time that, or at a force, a volume that takes this cool air and moves it down there without it heating up. Additionally, the shutter up there shouldn't be there. So right now, I guess part of the problem I'm having, I just disconnected it, is that the warm air is coming, the fan, I got to get my backwards pointing. The fan is sucking the air out of that vent up there. So it's just going from here, whoop, and sucking out there. It's not having enough pressure. There's not enough, the positive pressure to pull the air through this since it's getting it right there. So I disconnected that and I closed that. And the guy was like, hey, you should have sent me a picture of your end wall so I could have told you it was in the wrong spot. I'm like, listen, buddy, if you scroll up 3 text messages, you see my text message of the end wall a month ago. So it's just a little bit frustrating. It's all done, but now I'm going to have to make an addition down there to add another fan and another thermostat. So I feel like we're working out the problem. It shouldn't be that big of a deal to add another fan. Unfortunately, I'll have to add another circuit because these fans are about 11 amps. And at a 20 amp circuit, if I'm having 2 of them, I'll need to have another circuit. And I did get them to throw in another different thermostat. So at like 80 degrees, this one will kick on. At 85 degrees, the second one will kick on, so I can stage it if necessary. Most likely will need it. But yeah, so I'm excited and I'm a little bit frustrated at the same time because just dang it, I want this to be done. As far as the plants go, obviously, again, I can't put them in here quite yet. I added all my soil amendments. I have a video coming out about that. we finished the greenhouse. I went back and I tilled everything again. So this is kind of like my final till. It looks real nice and fluffy. And I'm going to put the plants in here to acclimate them to the greenhouse, to acclimate them to the light. And I'm going to put them, probably about 7 feet away from the wet wall, because right here it's nice and cool. I'm a little chilly in my armpitial region right here, resting on it. So, yeah, I'm going to get them in here. I might plant one of them that's over this direction or something. But if they ship me the fan, I should have it probably early next week, and I can get that installed right away or I will get it installed right away because I need to get it done. And yeah, get it up and running. Thankfully, I have some cool weather coming in, so I am thinking about maybe just planting the plants just to get them in and put a mister on them or something to keep them cool. So that's good and bad. It's kind of done. The plastic's on. That's the main part, the hard bit. All the infrastructure's done. I just need to add some more that I wish I would have known about beforehand, so it could be all done right now. Let's go look at the plants. So I shot this whole segment in the garage, and then I realized that, you know what? I need to bring them into the greenhouse. The plants need to be in what will be their new home. So let's go ahead and get them in. So I loaded them up in the wagon, brought them out, braved the wind. The sun is setting. It's probably getting close to 8 o'clock now, so everything is off other than the swamp cooler still recirculating the water. I hooked up the second hose and gave them their first drink over here. And we'll look at the plants. We'll start over here. So 1984 Barren, and I think this is the other one. Nope. This is the 1894 Urena, and I put that sensor, so that's that sensor I was telling you about. So I think these are going to be my plant grouping. So the 1894 Urena, probably my best looking plant. It really wants to lay down, so if you don't know, they typically want to go opposite of their first true leaf. So this is the first true leaf, and the plant is just naturally, he wants to lay down and run that direction. I'll probably pair him with a 1984 Barren. Same situation here. Actually, this guy is wanting to go. This guy's wanting to go the opposite direction. He's kind of leaning to the left here. He really needs to lean to the right. So what I'll do is take his skewer and try to persuade him to go this direction, which is difficult to do with one hand. So that starts the process of getting him to go the right way. Over time, this C will flip over there, and if it doesn't want to and it just insists on doing that, then so be it. It'll run that direction. I'll probably have to chop a leaf, but such is life. So 1894 Urena, 1984 Barren. Sorry, I just sneezed, so my nose is a bit runny. 1911 Urena. This one's looking real good too. And then that one is paired with the other 1911 Urena. So you can see the difference between the two plants. It's not necessarily a real fair comparison because this one has a pot that's twice the size. Be really curious what the roots look like. So when I plant these, I'll show you what the roots look like. Then 2118 Barren, 2118 Barren. This one probably is the better of the two, the better looking of the two. Again, another plant that really just kind of wants to lay down and take off at this point. But the wind, they were in the garage, so they haven't been in a perfect scenario because they are getting a little wind battered because we just had so much of that dang wind lately. But I want to keep them kind of going, encourage them to lay down. Trying to find a spot. There we go, where I don't have it on that new growth. And same with this one. I will encourage him to lay down. Trying to do it with one hand. Opposite of that first true leaf. So there we go, that's better. Out of these two, I don't know, that one might be the better. I don't know, that one, those looks pretty good. And then my orange picks, 1002 Alts, is looking real fine. And the 1501 Vanderweilen, also looking real good. This one looks like it won't be wanting to double vine, but you know, who knows? They grow out of it, and it's hard to say. I realize now, hopefully my camera angle hasn't been too terribly wonky this whole time. And then the only thing to address is really the CalMag. You can see the magnesium deficiencies in those leaves, and then the new leaves that are growing out, I've started fertilizing with CalMag, and that's correcting that. So yellow leaf, not yellow leaf, same. The older leaves are a little bit yellow. They needed more magnesium, and I gave it to them, so they are on the mend. That's it for this one. Don't want to make it too terribly long. Questions, comments, queries, or concerns, let me know. Get out there, grow yourself a giant pumpkin.